Coming at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast. What is going on, party people? Happy Thirsty Thursday. Let's hit a couple of coins in there. Let's do some money because the Dodgers are out here sweeping up all these fools or something. I don't know. I'm sorry, but this is a show that is part of the Believe Network of podcasts. What is going on, Clint Nation, on today's show? Yeah, we're talking about that sweep. We're talking about Yoshinobu Yamamoto, kind of some thoughts on month one of Yoshi-san. Is Gavin Lux finding it? I got some thoughts. I got a prop over here as well where everything is going to go wrong when we bring it in. More injured list stuff. We got to talk about the latest injury news, and this is not a drill. Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers are on a plane to Toronto to face the Blue Jays and Justin Turner this weekend. So we're going to talk about all of that and more on another edition of All Dodgers Live. I am Clint Pasillas. Find me as Real FRG on the social medias. And that guy popping up in the little screen over there is producer Kevin. Find him on the internet at Skinner7Kevin?
Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have it on. I put it on the screen. He doesn't want to fix it. He doesn't want to change it. But, guys, what's going on? I already see the chat going off. How are you doing on this Thirsty Thursday? Back from the DR is producer Kevin.
True. Yep. Went to the DR looking at potential wedding venues.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, had to check one out really fast and had a good time. Had a lot of fun.
I know you sent in our Discord chat. You sent a picture of your booze on a nice little beachfront there, if I remember correctly. Having a good time out there. If you guys want to have a good time, subscribe to this YouTube channel. It's completely free. It's something that really helps us out. It makes us feel good. We're trying to get to 7,000 subscribers. That's free for you to subscribe. If you're not subscribed, just do it. And then you don't even need to watch the videos. It's about the numbers, guys. It's about the numbers. But let's find some comments here, man. If you see anything that pops off, let's go ahead and dive into it.
Well, Richard Flores is saying the NFL draft is overrated. As I'm wearing Raiders here.
Raiders,
chat, my guy.
Got the Raiders. Actually,
a lot of people dumping on the Padres, or at least a couple dumping on the Padres for giving up 6 runs in like the 8th inning at Coors Field because that stadium doesn't need to be fired into the sun.
I hate that place. I do not want to see the Dodgers even slightly there. And also, I wasn't aware that was a super chat from Mr. Richard Flores. Thank you very much, Richard. Always good to see you in here. Whether or not you're sending super chats, our guy from Devore, California, Juice Neros, by the way, wants us to confirm whether or not Ohtani is indeed on that plane to Toronto. Sources did confirm to me that it is Shohei Ohtani on that plane, along with the rest of the Los Angeles Dodgers, because that's where they're going. They're going to go play baseball out there in Toronto. Looking forward to that series, but we'll talk more about that series later on in the show. A lot of folks talking about the plane. I don't know how much we're going to dive into the plane because I don't want to get no angry texts from from places I used to work. But Goat Yachty, one of the new people that did join our Discord server, did join the Patreon. We appreciate Mr. Goat Yachty saying, Clint, the Discord has been popping off. I love it. We have been having some good conversations in the Discord. Hat tip to Kevin for making the Discord a better place because I'm not very technologically disadvantaged. I don't know. I'm pretty good with tech. Discord is fucking stupid to figure out. Way too many things. Way too many things.
It's all customizable. It's actually not too bad.
Thank you. Thank you. Just shit all over me.
Yeah, exactly. It got stupid when Twitter shot their API into the sun, though. You can use that phrase a lot more today. We're just going to keep it running.
Just keep it running. Yeah. Roy Estrada loving what he's seeing out of Andy Pajes. Almost had another multi-hit game today. I think we're all liking what we're seeing out of Andy. We're going to talk about that in a second here. Denny's in the chat saying what's going on, Clinton Nation. Carnivorous Sooner Activity, Neil Casamoto, a bunch of the friends of the show in here. Elisheva Jones, good to see you in here. Said Evan Phillips is a total stud Dodger. We are going to talk about Evan in a second, but might as well just talk about him now because you love the bounce back from EP. Did not have anywhere by any stretch of the imagination his best game on, what was it, Tuesday night? Figured it out big time today, looking pretty damn good. This was one of the things you wanted to talk about. Just put some love on Evan Phillips before we dive into the sweep series.
Yeah, it was definitely a rough start on Tuesday. Not what we're used to seeing. He typically doesn't walk a lot of guys just in general. And then all of a sudden bases are yacked and you're just hoping, praying he gets out of it. And then today got a little bit of help from the ump on that first strikeout, but just was, even when he was missing, he wasn't missing. It was kind of crazy how well he was commanding his two-seamer and his sweeper. He's looked incredible all year. He's got his ERA is like well below 1. He's 6 for 6 on saves. Unfortunately, he's literally the Will Smith of relief pitchers. He's so boring. He doesn't get enough attention. And if he's not an all-star this year, it's just a sham.
It's broken.
It really is. He's looked incredible. I know a lot of people have like been begging for the Dodgers to go get a closer, and I never understood that because they had Evan Phillips, high leverage honey bun, as some people will call him, and he's looked every bit the part. Every time he's the opposite of Kenley. Every time he walks out there, it's just yeah, exactly. See what your heart just did. Evan Phillips does the opposite.
Yeah,
that's kind of calmly.
That's a kick in the soul.
Kindly strikes 3 people out and then puts the game away, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah. He's your ho-hum every day. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to go home and I'm going to go be dad. And this is a team that needs that. Now that it has, a couple years ago, back in the day, me complaining on Blue Heaven after the Dodgers get bounced in the first round. Like, again, I talk about how boring the team was looking. Things just looking dull up and down the lineup. And they add some flair, they add some flavor, they add a little bit of everything. You also still got to keep the dull, you got to keep the boring, you got to keep the people that show up do their job. And Evan Phillips, one of the best in baseball at doing it. One of the best here online is our friend Roy Estrada, who sent in a $9.99 super chat.
What a segue! What a segue!
But, sometimes you're feeling good, you're feeling froggy. Again, it is Thirsty Thursday, gang, as usual. It is a whiskey cola. What are you drinking over there, Chief? Let the people know.
I have a glass of cold gin, or as they call it, a martini.
A martini. Almost martini. But Roy says the leagues might be thinking they're figuring out Yama, but with each game Yamamoto pitches, he will become dominant. Go blue. And yeah, we knew this was going to be the whole thing with Yoshinobu Yamamoto. It was going to be figuring some things out. It was going to take him some time to get acclimated to Major League Baseball. So let's dive into that series sweep, Dodgers sweep. They keep on trucking. One of the things I talked about on Monday's show and Monday's Dodgers territory was if that 10-0 shutout win on Sunday was going to count, they needed to carry some of that momentum over into Washington. And my God, did they do that with the sweep? That game 2, of course, 20 hits, 11 runs. They really were looking to cause some damage there, and they did it. Yoshinobu Yamamoto looking Yama nasty again. 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 7 Ks on a walk. Stays alive with a defensive gem. That's one of those ones you gotta check your jock strap afterwards. Check everything below those pants. And hey, with baseball, the new pants,
they stayed white.
Yes, if you crap yourself, you will know, or we will all know. But he did say he almost died. But today, the big thing is what we talked about, or I talked about on Monday, was the fastball location, the struggles, the trouble with that fastball location and the fastball overall. Hitters going into the game hitting 355 off of that fastball. Today looked much better, dotting it better, didn't have to rely on the off-speed stuff as much, so he's able to rack up some Ks and get through 6 innings relatively clean. What do you like? What did you like out of Yamamoto today?
Before we get to what I did like, I have to mention I was on a quick run in my gym when he was pitching, and he left a middle fastball to Eddie Rosario, and I damn near fell off the treadmill because I thought Eddie Rosario was going to send that out of the stadium. Thankfully, it's not 2021, and he didn't do that.
Yeah, all that magic is gone.
All that magic is gone. What I have liked about him is, like you said, the fastball locations looked good. His splitter will come along. It hasn't looked as dominant as we thought we would, but I think as his fastball gets there, his splitter will look better because it plays off each other. I don't know, similar to like one Walker Buehler. Maybe we talk about that later. What I have actually really liked from him is the curveball on the outside of the plate to left-handed hitters.
Yeah,
that pitch looks so uncomfortable. Every left-hander that sees it just doesn't know what to do with it because I don't think they're used to seeing someone throw a curveball out there because it's just like at the ball, and then it just drops, and it's right there on the corner.
That
I
curveball
love
feels
that
like a
pitch.
video game curveball. That's the
does.
pitch you use like for 90% of your strikeouts on MLB The Show.
Yes.
At least that's how I used to play it back in the day when I used to play baseball video games. But I agree with that one. People do. We are noting in the chat, not very good with runners in scoring position today. Hit into 6. I think it was 6 double plays.
I think it was 3 in a row. 3 in a row, which feels like 6. That's for sure.
One of them was pretty tough there with that. I think Ohtani got the little flare to third base and then was doubled off. Mookie was doubled off, I believe it was. But we're gonna focus more on the positives with that. As I'll focus on the positive here from Omar Vargas saying that I brought my A game on Dodgers territory today. Guys, we had Andy McCullough, a senior writer for The Athletic. He was on to promote also to talk to us, but to talk about his new finally coming out Clayton Kershaw book. This is some really good stories from Andy McCullough, who of course covered the Dodgers for a number of seasons. Before that, covered the Royals during their heyday, up to and including winning a World Series. So we appreciate that, and Lana and I appreciate him coming on. I got that video linked in one of the playlists here on the YouTube channel if you're watching it, or go find that the audio on the podcast platforms. Dodgers territory, look it up. But anywho, where was I going to go to? Well, I guess I said we're going to talk positive, but
the Nets, and how good Yamamoto's looked, and he's looked good his last few starts. He's looked better and better. He has a 2.5 ERA, I believe, over his last 5 starts. I think part of it is he looks a little better with runners in scoring position. And I'm going to think back to that Chicago series where he loaded the bases, but he got out of both jams. And I think in part to having a runner on third, because you don't have to think as much about the runners if the bases are yacked. And he can just pitch his way to home. He can just kind of be himself. He doesn't have to worry about like holding a runner on. He's looked a lot better with like batters on. And I think part of that is just making him more comfortable in each and every start.
Yeah, that was one of the things we're going to talk about is like 1 month of Yamamoto. What do we like? We like the incremental steps forward. I think it's since that first terrible inning in South Korea, he's posted a 2 ERA, which is just about what you want out of your $320 some odd million man in the offseason. But we are Dodgers fans. We are going to nitpick. We're going to find things that we are not a fan of that we believe could be a little bit better. And, he worked on one for the most part with the fastball. Yeah, he's going to leave a few middle here and there. As long as they're not jumped all over, we're fine. And then I'm perfectly fine. I'm calling it really good, not great first month for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. But we're going to talk about positives. We got to throw in a negative. It would not be a show on the internet if we're not talking about something negative. And yes, we got to talk about Christopher Armand Taylor. Another 0 for today. He keeps starting, keeps getting that lineup against left-handed pitching. And he shouldn't be in the lineup against any handed pitching. I think it's 1 for his last 46 or 45, 47 or something like that.
2, it's like 2 for his last 42.
And he's hitting 0.47 on the season. At this point, like he needs to walk into Dave's office and just suggest that like he broke his ankle, something is hurting because like a phantom IL at the bare minimum. But this is a dude that's they won, so you can't say he's causing a massive problem, but he's kind of a massive problem. As Francisco says, send Taylor back down to AAA. That's not an option because he is out of options and all that. But still, you need a little bit more out of that dude off of the bench. Do you think there's anything salvageable this season from the kid? There's a long way to go, but what are you seeing with Chris Taylor? Is there any hope?
I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I think and B.O. Boyd kind of hints at it why I keep playing CT3. No matter what he does, there's no way I'm trusting him in the postseason. He is toast. I think it's kind of the opposite of that. You do just trust him in the postseason. It's like a basketball player. Like Dennis Schroeder or Kobe at certain points is they go cold. And sometimes the best way to get out of a cold streak is to just shoot your way out of it. And that's, I think what they're trying to do is they're just letting him go up there and swing his way out of it. to your point about saying he broke his ankle, the league has been cracking down on the misuse of the IL, which the Dodgers may or may not have ever done. That allegedly, yeah. So I don't know if even that's an option at this point. What I will say is because Rojas has looked a little better, Barnes has looked a little better, they can kind of sustain CT3 basically being an automatic out. I mean, hell, they used the pitcher up at the plate for, up until 2 or 3 years ago.
That's fair.
So it sucks. But there's just no good option. There's nothing you do. They're not going to break up a kid because his position already, he doesn't get that many at-bats. So they're not going to break up a kid to just not take at-bats. They can't trade that contract, and they're not going to just cut him.
No,
so
you're not going to see this dude getting DFA. That's eating about $30 million. Because he's still under contract through next year. There is a buyout or an option year for 2026. The Dodgers are stuck, and this is a very, very bad contract. One of the things that I had brought up in the Discord that I've been thinking about often enough in recent years, we'll say, but definitely a lot over these last few weeks is Chris Taylor really, really fell off when he met his old lady. When he met Mary, things, I don't know if that changed some things, and now he's a proud papa and all that kind of stuff. I'm just saying, I liked young, single, I'm trying to meet any women to appreciate me and my weirdness, Chris Taylor, because that was the very good Chris Taylor. Of course, I'm not blaming Mary. She's a very nice lady, and they do great things. It's just
doing your best Mickey impression from Rocky, women weaken legs.
Oh, go get him, Rock. Appreciate that. Guys, jump in the chat. We got cut or CUT3 from Iris in here. Birasama checking in the chat. What's going on, Mr. John Rod? And, of course, Diane is in the chat. Appreciate you guys. I should probably turn on the one that has chat on the screen. Craig says DFA if he doesn't want to go to AAA. It is an option. Of course, you can try to outright him, and you're still going to have the contract. But you could conceivably, he's not going to turn down his guaranteed money, so you could conceivably outright him off of the 40-man, send him to AAA, and have just be stuck with that contract. Nobody else is gonna pick him up. Nobody's gonna pick him up on waivers. But still,
the other thing is like even if they DFA him, send him to AAA, is who takes his spot on the 26-man roster? You could say, okay, when Vargas comes back. He does, but they don't. But Vargas isn't going to come up to taking at bat every 3 or 4 days.
No,
or get a start every 3 or 4 days. They're going to need him to get some runway, kind of like Pajes is getting right now. So what do? You sign somebody who, at this point in the season, is going to do basically what Chris Taylor does, but with worse defense.
So what you're saying is we're stuck.
We're stuck.
No, I don't want to hear that. Anywhere. Give us more positivity in that he's going to go away.
CT3 is a black hole for positivity.
Or maybe he's going to figure it out. But watching that swing, he's not. It doesn't look like he's getting anywhere closer to figuring it out. One guy who has figured it out through this sweep and over these last, let's say, 4 to 5 games is the aforementioned Andy Pajes. Entering today, had an OPS of over 900, 7 hits, 5 of those going for extra base hits, added a single on Thursday, playing a nice right field, a passable center field, and this is a dude that has a runway now because Jason Hayward is MIA. He is not being, if he's back in a month, that would be impressive, but I think everybody's getting a good feel of the full Andy Pajes experience, which is he's going to swing at and swing through a lot of pitches, but every once in a while he's going to connect on them, and some he won't even. I don't think anybody expected him to hit that homer in Game 1 in Washington. That was funny. The helmet's falling off as he's making contact, but this is a dude that is doing his job down there at the bottom of the lineup, helping keep things moving, and importantly, not a problem as Kevin gets arrested over there. So far, not a problem. What are you liking out of Andy?
I think for me, the big surprise was his defense. I think a lot of scouting reports had him as like his best defensive position is the bench.
Yeah.
Or designated hitter for that matter. They said he was definitely bat first, and he's looked very passable in right or in center in the couple starts he's had in center. He's looked really good in both of those, or in both those spots. He hasn't overrun a ball. I think he missed one on a slide, but kudos to the kid for trying. I think I like that out of him. And it was he's quietly gotten his OPS over 900. I think he was 1 for 8 or 1 for 9 after the hit in his first at bat. And then he started to kind of string some things together. And like you said, we saw some of that real power that the Dodgers have been touting. I have no idea how he hit that ball up. That ball was below, like where he holds the bat, the ball was directly below it. And he somehow hits it directly into left field.
They call it quick hands.
Quick something. I have no idea. Like they said on the broadcast, it was a rainmaker. It was really impressive to see what kind of power he has when he does connect. So as he gets used to big league pitching, it's going to be hard if he keeps this up when Jason Hayward comes back to tell Andy Paz, yeah, kid, you got to sit down versus, right-handed pitching.
It's a good problem to have. Definitely
it's a great problem to have. I like CT3 or shortstop position.
Yeah, I like what they said on the broadcast earlier, where it's like, that's one of those things where you don't worry about it until you need to worry about it. And right now, they don't have to worry about it. Dodgers don't need to worry about seeing Jason Hayward for a while. I mean, he's going to meet up with the team in Arizona, but he's still not even swinging a bat. We are talking a month. We're talking a month and a half away until we see Jason Hayward, if at all, because my boy's old. I feel it. I just picking up my demo bat over here earlier. I might have pulled something. I might need to hit the IL. But a couple more quick things before we get out of here. We already talked about Evan Phillips, giving some love, shining some light on Evan Phillips, doing his job and doing very good. And answering that question that was, do the Dodgers need a closer? No, they have one. They have one of arguably the best. One of the best for sure. A top 3, top 2, maybe the best closer in baseball. And after weeks of shitting on him, Alex Vesia kind of not a problem? Or what do you think?
So it was funny because I think it was literally after the start where he gave up the home run in the first at bat, and he even said, I feel like I'm going in the right spot. He's gone on a tear. In his last 10 innings, he's only allowed 2 earned runs. I think importantly for Alex Vesia specifically is he's inherited 5 runners and not allowed any of them to score. So he can kind of be maybe a fireman, maybe not an Evan Phillips level fireman, but somebody where, man, if the 6, 7, or 8 hitters coming up and you got a guy on second, maybe Alex Vesia can come in and reliably get them out. He's not perfect by any means. In those 10 innings, he still walked 6 batters, so that you'd like him to put that to at least 4. Ideally, that'd be 2, but we can't. But he has 9 strikeouts to match. So yeah, he has looked a lot better, and we've seen him go on these runs before.
Absolutely.
And he's a guy where off the first pitch, what kind of outing is this going to be?
Yeah.
And just today, comes out, fires a fastball, strike. You're like, all right, I know what Alex I'm getting.
Yeah,
we're good.
If it doesn't miss, high and away to a right-handed batter, you're going to get a good version of Alex Vesia. The thing that has been nice, and even the last 2-3 outings, the walks have kind of calmed down, and that was his biggest bugaboo to open the season, and usually kind of is his biggest bugaboo when things are going wrong. What's going very good for him right now, and all of us, as I realize I forgot to fix one thing on the screen here. He rediscovered that slider. The slider has become a weapon when it was kind of MIA for a while to open the season. So we like what we're seeing out of, as Jerry Harrison Jr. calls him, the real AV. Quick other ones just to button up. I know.
So bad.
Jerry, so bad.
No.
Yeah. When in Rome. But Mookie keeps on trucking, 7 hits in the series, hitting .374, which is pretty damn good for your shortstop / second baseman. But you do worry about him kind of running himself into the ground. He is getting older, and he is but a small boy. But did get his first. I was kind of shocked. I didn't really realize he had not hit an extra base hit. Got an extra base hit on the road. Did get one. I think 2 in this series, but definitely 1 in the series. Freddie, all the way back, 5 hits in the series, 5-game hitting streak now for Freddie Freeman. So we know, rumors of his demise are far-fetched. They're greatly over-exaggerated, and the doubles are starting to come for him too. A couple of doubles in the last 5 games.
Yeah, that was the swing, the double he had today, where it went straight into left field. That was the swing where I was like, okay, Freddie's
all
back.
The way back. He's not just back.
It had to be.
He's all the way back.
All the way back. It had to be a swing to the opposite field, where he's hustling it out. That to me is like, okay, he's fine. He figured it out. Not that I was really worried, but it's a good swing.
You never really worried about Freddie Freeman. He always figures it out. But a fun series in Washington. It's always fun to sweep the Nationals because the Dodgers have struggled against the Nationals over the last few years. So you're feeling good. You're feeling good about your first place Dodgers. A little promo break here, guys. If you haven't had enough of me, I also co-host another show here on the internet called Dodgers Territory alongside Alana Rizzo, longtime Dodgers reporter and all that. She's back doing Dodgers because she missed it terribly. So we have a show on Foul Territory. Check it out every Monday, every Thursday. Today we welcome, like I said earlier, senior writer for The Athletic, Andy McCullough, talking about his book on Clayton Kershaw, which is a great name. The last of his kind. That one's coming out in about a month. So pre-order now wherever you get your books, as Andy told us. Also on the Foul Territory Network, because I do want to promote them as well. They have Dave Roberts, the manager, everybody's favorite manager, on Live with the Boys with Scott Braun and the fellas tomorrow on FT Live in the 10 o'clock hour Pacific time. Check them out. Check out Foul Territory in general. Check out, guys, our Patreon, because if you're looking for a different way to support independent baseball coverage for less than the price of several months worth of micheladas for sure, or even one michelada, one michelada, significantly cheaper. You get access to our Discord server. You get access to the Monday Overreactions voicemail hotline, which is essentially what it has become, and that's been fun. I appreciate the folks that have called in. I understand people get a little nervous calling and leaving a voicemail and just complaining, or it doesn't need to be complaints. It could be positive things, but again, check it out. Less than the price of a michelada, less than the price of a Dodger dog per month. You can help support independent baseball coverage. And if you can't watch us live here, of course, Kevin's here on Thursday. I'm here Mondays and Thursdays live, and other videos when I decide to drop them. But we have the podcast version of this. Just search All Dodgers with Clint Pasillas on your podcast networks, all that kind of stuff. It'll pop up. Leave a 5-star review if you wouldn't mind, or rating, and leave a review on the show if you would not mind. And I don't mind reading my old co-host, Mr. Kevin Perez Allen, leaving a $2 super chat here. Appreciate you. It says $2. Hey girl, and hashtag Viva Azul. So thank you for hanging out with us, Kevin. But let's find some comments here, and then let's talk about Gavin Lux.
A lot of people are talking about the A's losing, or A's beating the Yankees, which I guess is a thing. I don't know. Yankees are good. A's are bad. Judge gets booed. Oh no, God forbid. So Jenny Cortez believes we shouldn't take any Alana hate in the comments about her on Foul Territory. I wasn't aware there was any. I don't know why she would get any. But.
Some people just live to bully, live to see their name on the internet talking shit. But Alana doesn't care. Alana's been through a lot. She's earned her stripes in this business, in this field, and we had a good time. We had a good time talking baseball today, and you know what? If anybody talks crap about Alana in front of my face, that's right, abuse. That's all I got. Patada.
Oh God.
Mas putazos. Let's do that.
Yangi says Trinan could not duck either. Yeah, if Trinan had Yoshinobu Yamamoto's reflexes, maybe his ribs would be intact.
Oh man, look at that. Apparently Doug went live at the same time as me today. Douglas.
Douglas.
I know how that's eventually going to start going. It is what it is. But you know what? I got Alana Rizzo, and we have a good time there on Foul Territory. Francisco says I should use La Chancla. So if anybody comes up talking about Alana, you've been in the San Diego area. You know about La Chancla.
Of course. There's no more feared weapon. The pen is mightier than the sword, and it yet holds no water to La Chancla.
BC said Doug not loyal. Nah, I mean he's my boy. I'm not gonna talk too much crap on Doug. I love that guy. We've been through the wars. We've been through hell and back together. Appreciate that, dude. Let's see. All right, enough of that one. I don't know. Says this close for the A's is a Terminator. I don't know. I'm lost on that one, but let's probably talk instead about Gavin Lux. This is the big ticket. This is the Gavin Lux edition of the big ticket. And I'm going to say, did Gavin Lux maybe, just maybe, find something in Washington? Because there was a little bit of a swing change. You saw a 2-hit game. I wonder, is he finding it? And it's a very, very small sample size. It is 1 2-hit game. At the same time, we wonder, is Miggy Rowe maybe earning more playing time? Because Miguel Rojas, in a short amount of time, has hit the ball very, very well. What are the numbers? I got to pull the numbers up again, but he has like 15, 16 total bases.
He's hitting 281, 324, 500 slug. He's 824 OPS on the year. He's hit really well, although I will say he's something like 4 for 21 in his last 9 games. Part of his stats, his season stats, are held up by the hot start he had.
A couple homers in there out of nowhere.
Yeah. So
it also, helps. Miggy Rowe is starting exclusively against left-handed pitching, has not really faced right-handed pitching, and he hits much better against lefties. And he's not playing every day because he's a veteran. He's an older fella, and people like us break down. But back onto Lux, though, I still do feel the Wednesday game may have been a key to a turnaround. You got the 2 hits in there. He's playing very nice defense at second base, mind you.
Yes.
You almost wonder if at some point they make the mistake of trying to slide him back over to shortstop just to kind of see, maybe.
It's so they're gonna give Mookie a day off, and it's gonna have to be a middle infield of Miggy and Lux, and they're gonna be like, you know what? What if for one day we just screw with the kid's head and we throw him at shortstop and just for fun?
I mean, I'm not opposed to seeing it at some point because this is the guy they really want to be their everyday shortstop. That's what, shortstop. I mean, that's kind of how it was there in spring training. He was more of a shortstop, but and then we go back to the Yamamoto, the fastball back at his face or whatever the hell it is. But I'm seeing things. I think some folks here also on the internet seeing things with Gavin Lux, differences in the box, more so the hands kind of looked a little bit different. And here we go. We got demo bat as I try not to hit the fan, as where usually the bat is kind of down. His hands were a little bit higher and staying up there, and it'll still dip on him. The hands will still kind of dip on him, and if that bat is low and staying low, it's going to be harder to get on plane for him. And his swing is very line drive. It's a lot more traditional old school swing where it's not the uppercut, but if the bat is staying too far down, he's going to kind of be able to get on, or he is going to be getting on top of it more than he wants. And he talked about that. His quote this week, one of the things he said was like, all the fucking rollovers. You're seeing a lot of rollovers. You're seeing a lot of choppers to the left side or the right side of the infield. When he's wrong, you're seeing a lot more of that. And I think that's kind of what they did with the more upright or level bat. It's to, kind of, what was it that A-Rod, he was talking about, like the idea of down on the ball, or you're hitting down on the ball, but your hands need to be in the right spot. The most important thing is Lux's hands were not, he wasn't able to get his hands back to the right spot. At the same time, he talked about being able to get into his legs and that front leg kind of getting a little soft on him. And that is another problem, because if he's staying soft or staying really more stiff with that leg, he's going to hit more on top of the ball instead of that middle half of the ball. And, as he said, the swing doesn't feel bad. He's seeing the ball fine. It's not speeding up on him. It's just the actual hitting the ball part that's a little bit off. So there's a lot of me. I want to know what you're seeing, and if I'm just alone on an island when we're talking about Gavin Lux.
No, I totally get what you're saying. It's so reminiscent of the Cody Bellinger swing forever and ever. I mean, there's that viral clip of Jerry Hairston like breaking down where they won. Okay, oh my God, the Raiders is big Brock Bowers. Why
breaking?
Why? Anyway, sorry. Oh God. Son of a bitch. No, I mean, he's so good, but we don't need a tight end. Anyway,
trade bait ?
I don't know. Anyway, there's that clip of Jerry Harrison talking about where he wants Cody's hands. It's the same thing with Lux. He had his bat like behind his back for so long, it felt like. And you're right, it doesn't help him get on plane at all. And it doesn't help because when Cody was so successful with it, he was fully healthy. His shoulder was strong. It doesn't help when Gavin's the same way. It's not a shoulder, it's a knee. He's not at full strength. The only way this works is if you're Paul Goldschmidt. And guess what? That dude's a tank. And Gavin Lux is not. He's coming off an injury. He's
missed a year.
Yeah, he's missed a whole year. He's not confident in that knee. It's clear. Maybe defensively he's feeling better, but it's clear even through his quotes that you just read off, he's not feeling it at the plate. And maybe he's found something. I don't know. It takes a lot of games to get into a slump. It takes a lot of games to get out of a slump. It's gonna take him time. Hopefully he finds something in Toronto. He's gonna get his chances. We got 2 right-handers coming up. We'll talk about that later. He's gonna get his chances. The Dodgers need him to be good just to turn the lineup over, but it's kind of crazy because now they don't. If he's gonna play second base, you'd rather have Mookie there. So Gavin Lux playing, like getting his bat hot is nice. It's a good story. It's a feel-good story at this point, but then you kind of have to answer the question of, well, what's the long-term plan for Gavin Lux at that, at this juncture? But I'm not poo-pooing the kid. I want him to do really well. I loved him coming up. I was so happy when he was, in 2021 and 2020, when he struggled and then came back. I was so happy for him. But it's been tough to watch. Maybe he found something. Long story,
something's getting closer for sure when you are able to drop 2 hits, and you also know like where he's probably at. He even mentions too. He's like, I just got to let my brain say, fuck it, it's fine. Just go, turn it and burn, let it. I'm going to be fine. More so, the knee's fine. That's the mentality more about the injury component and getting over that mental hurdle. He says, what does he say? You got to tell be able to turn off the part of your brain telling you that, I have to remain safe. I have to protect myself.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to worry about that. And yeah, we knew coming off of a knee injury, it was going to take some time. There were going to be some issues. There were going to be some learning curves and all that, or relearning curves, as I'm really struggling here with some allergy bullshit. So I just feel like everything is very watery, and I feel very emotional about Gavin, guys.
Gavin Lux.
That's all I'm saying. But I do like what I'm seeing, and the important part is the mental. If he feels good and he knows like kind of the mental hangups, and you get a little bit of confidence, he could ride that confidence to a good 3, 4, 5 week stretch until maybe he hurts his neck or something. You really hope he doesn't have another one of those injuries. But we've seen the kid go on a tear. Not a whole lot expected of him. He doesn't need to be Freddie Freeman, doesn't need to be a slugger like Shohei Ohtani. Just keep the line moving, keep playing good second base. And you mentioned, the whole long-term, what is the long-term plan for Lux? Well, if he is going to be a second baseman, they have a lot of second basemen at some point in time.
At this point, there's too many.
So it's like, hey, maybe figure it out. He becomes trade bait. That's not what I want. It's not ideal. But for now, it feels like with Miguel Rojas's success and Mookie's success playing second, playing shortstop and all that, this is going to be a platoon year for Gavin Lux, and maybe that's okay for him as he comes back from a knee injury. He's still under team control for this team for a couple more years. He can figure it out. He can have a good, off season, good spring training, maybe get an opportunity at shortstop again moving forward, unless the Dodgers sign like Willie Adames this off season or whatever. But
I don't even want to. Oh God,
we'll get there when we get there. But the important thing is you feel a little bit better about where Gavin Lux is at, where things are trending, and I like to see him not just sticking with the same exact swing and hoping for different results. See some changes, put in that work, as he mentioned in his postgame, putting in work with Rob Van Scoyoc, with Aaron Bates, with the hitting staff, with the body like mechanic staff and all of that, which is totally what they're called.
Yes. The body mechanic staff. That's where I take my car, I think.
Oh yeah. That's the new O'Reilly or something like that. But little bit of something different, a little bit of change can go a long way, and it's good to see him. In my opinion, I saw something that I liked, and I think he can ride it. And as long as he's not facing lefties for a little bit, we're going to be in a good spot. We got super slugger Miguel Rojas. Yeah. I know the chat is more all over the place. We're not too much talking about Gavin Lux in the chat, but if you see anything, let's get some people's thoughts here on Lux. Get some people's thoughts on other Dodgery things in the chat or whatever you want to talk about. You know?
A lot of people are really, really smashing Chris Taylor tonight, which is unfortunate. It's overdue at this point, but yeah, we talked about him. Guess what? It didn't go well for anybody. Terry Hesticles, great name. Love that. Says that he needs to step it up so he can be a nice trade piece. I agree. I don't see a world really where Lux is on this team next year. And best case scenario, he gets traded and the Dodgers kind of reset the clock on another young prospect and maybe one that aligns a little bit better with the timeline of a Mookie Betts or whoever they decide to play shortstop. I know somebody else in talking about Craig Osterberg, of course. I don't know why I said somebody else. It's Craig. And when we were talking about possibly getting Lux that one off game where they have to give Mookie a day off, so Lux plays short and Miggy plays second. Lux's arm isn't good enough, and yeah, that's the problem. Is like the one thing you need to be a good shortstop is arm strength. Corey Seager is not a great shortstop, but he at least has the arm enough to get the ball to first base. You look at a lot of the top shortstops in the league defensively, and even Willy Adames he doesn't have the greatest arm in the world, but he has enough. I think Gavin Lux, he was like 8th in arm strength, 8th percentile or something like that, according to StatCast. It's not going to cut it. It's not going to work.
Listen, the Angels and the Cardinals won World Series with David Eckstein as their starting shortstop. So anything is possible, kids. Don't let your dreams be dreams. And also, guys, don't not listen to Diane in the chat saying smash that like button. It's a very important thing that you do. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. We're trying to get to 7,000 subscribers. And I know usually the live streams don't do great at adding to the subscriber base. These are more for the people that are here, that get it, that understand. We want to have a conversation with you. We want to talk Dodger baseball with all of you guys, get your thoughts, and then also share some of our opinions. But, we can keep adding, keep doing different things as we add to our subscriber count and get into 7,000 subscribers.
Get to 7,000, guys. There's one channel that will be unnamed that I want to surpassing subscriptions, so let's get to 7,000 so we can get well above them.
Hell yeah. But always appreciate Diane, one of our fine mods here in the chat, for being great and pushing people to hit that like button, because we want 1 billion likes. So you had mentioned having a couple people, and I see Orlando mentioning Trey Sweeney, like who is the next shortstop if it's not going to be Lux, and they don't want to go the Mookie Betts route. There are some in-house options. The Dodgers made some trades for some in-house options with Trey Sweeney, with Noah Miller this offseason. Noah Miller is probably, his glove is very much ready for prime time right now. The bat's not there. Trey Sweeney coming off, I think he had a 4-hit game today.
Yeah, 2 extra base hits in that game, I think.
Oh,
I think
man.
It was a good game.
Having some real bad allergy issues right now. This is rough.
What's the other one that they selected over Gunnar Henderson? I can't remember the kid's name.
Shortstop?
Yeah.
I can't think right now. To pull Sweeney and Noah Miller out when I can barely breathe, that's more impressive to me. I can also barely hear out of this ear right now. It's a whole problem, guys. It's a whole problem.
You're just an absolute disaster over there.
Oh,
My
man.
goodness.
Why don't you talk to the chat for a little bit while I try to figure some things out?
Yeah, of course. On the how this is now the All Kevin show.
Kevin.
Thank you guys. Yeah, thank you guys for joining.
Oh man.
The Dodgers do have a couple in-house options. You mentioned Trey Sweeney. He's looked good. Glove first guy. Not a lot of pop, which is fine. The Dodgers, they don't need an all-world shortstop. They just need somebody who can show up. I don't know, get a base knock every 4th time they come to the
line
plate.
moving.
Exactly, which is why we were all excited for Gavin Lux in the first place. It wasn't for his power. It wasn't because he was like slugging. It was because he got on base. If they say it again, I'm going to point to you. He gets on base. Trey Sweeney will get on base. He's got a good glove. He's got a good enough glove. They don't need to have an all-star at every position.
Right?
They don't, which is hard to believe. Crazy, I know. So they have a couple in-house options. None that are ready this year. Probably none that are ready next year either. It's going to take some time. And what's unfortunate about Miguel Rojas is he's, an elder statesman at this point. He played 140 games 2 years ago, but besides that was 124, 132. And he played with like a calf injury or a groin injury last year, something like that. He's got those lingering lower body injuries that they're going to catch up to him if he plays too much, which is why a platoon even is kind of scary. So I don't know what the option is with Gavin Lux, because he's not going to be able to play shortstop. His arm's not good enough, which is unfortunate to say.
I think at some point he can figure it out. Like the arm strength wasn't necessarily his issue at shortstop, in my opinion. In my opinion, it was more so bouncing. It was just not good throws. It was not firm throws. He was not throwing, with much conviction in his arm. He was trying to place the ball. He was trying to put the ball in Freddie Freeman's glove as opposed to throwing it through the guy. And it happens. It happens in sports. And he's got, it happens in ball sports, we'll say, baseball, softball, that kind of stuff. Throw through the brick wall. Don't just hit the brick wall. Throw through that shit. But
the eight, like I said, 8th percent in StatCast in that first spring training game. Yeah, maybe it's the bounced ball, but he also overthrew Freddie a couple times, or he overthrew him once. A second time, Freddie
arm drops and
used all 6'5" of that beautiful veneer,
easy
teeth frame, veneered teeth frame of his, just like
all 6'5" of that beautiful veneered teeth frame.
Yes,
listen.
Absolutely, and you can't do both. He couldn't. You can't miss a Freddie Freeman both ways.
Yeah.
JT, I'll point to JT, figured it out. He did a 2-hop to Max Muncy for a couple of years, and that worked perfectly. That Gavin Lux, in a shorter distance, couldn't throw out runners that weren't that fast on a short hop. So that comes back to arm strength.
The throws look a lot better, at least now, finally, at shortstop. Diane agrees with you. That Lux's arm is a noodle. I think it doesn't need to be the strongest. You need to have a more accurate arm, and that's where he was really hurting this spring, was on the accuracy, and that's what got his ass kicked off of the position. But trying not to slam the guy. My guy Kevin, asking, is Ozzie Smith still available? I mean, yeah, but he's also, I think, 69 years old, which is nice, but we don't really want that in the lineup every day. Terry Hesticles, I think you had read this one as well.
Wait, did you know that?
What's that?
Did you know Ozzie Smith is 69 years old?
Yes. Yeah. You got to know things. I know everybody that is 69 years old, basically. I think that's an important trait to have.
Statistic. Yeah.
But Terry Hesticle says Gavin Lux, and I was like I said, I don't remember if you read this one, that he looks miserable. I saw him. I saw Terry mentioning this earlier. It's like, why does Gavin always look mad? Hey, maybe he needs to look mad to play good. It's look good, feel good, play good. Maybe it's look pissed, play okay. I don't know how it goes.
I'll take a little bit of piss and vinegar in one of these Dodgers players' veins. I'll take a little bit. I mean, not to like. It's what I love about Walker Buehler. It's why I've got his jersey. I love the anger, and I'm okay with Lux being angry. He should be angry. He was a minor league player of the year in 2019 or whatever it was, and he's not lived up to that pedigree, and so he should be pissed. And I hope that's something that fuels him and doesn't deter him and become a mental block.
And to add to that, he has had a number of things kind of go against him over the course of his not quite so short career. I mean, this is a guy that we've seen at the big league level now since 2019. 2020 kind of screwed up with the COVID year, and I mean, I don't think they ever officially came out and said he had COVID, but guys, let's be real, he had COVID, ruined his year. 21 playing some outfield, running into the wall, hurting the neck. Same thing with the neck in 22, 23 gone. Thank you, knee, bye bye. Just it's been tough going for the kid. What's not tough going is $5 super chat from Diane. We appreciate you. Diane says, if you're not subscribed, please do. We're stuck on 666 subs. So we have 6,666 subs at the moment. And that's not okay. You know, we got to get to 7 because 7's a better number. Maybe.
Lucky
Possibly.
7. Lucky number 7. Hey, it was my favorite number growing up. So
back to you.
Back to you in the state. Yeah.
Denny is also struggling with the allergies like me. So thankfully the allergy medicine fairy walked into the room while we were talking there for a second. My old co-host Kevin wants to start an all Kevin podcast with you, so you guys can talk about I don't know, our original show. We had a football guy who was, I think, a big time Raiders fan as well. Kevbo, let me know in the comments if I was right on that one, but he was funny. He was a character. So if you can do a guy who like kind of has that like, yeah, the Raiders are like the Raiders. Yeah, you got it. It's a whole thing. But Joe Mama says if you want the dub, you got to hit the ball, and I agree. You also got to mitigate the slug. We know that one. I missed what happened. Is Diane going somewhere? Oh, she's going to Vegas. Let's go. Have fun in Vegas this weekend, Diane. We will be rooting for you? ? I think that's how it goes.
Can you ask Tom Telesco why he drafted Brock Bowers for me, please? Please, we already had Michael Mayer. We didn't need another one.
Lucas says, yeah, are we sure Glux 9000, G-Lux isn't our future? I feel like the guy was born to wear a baseball uniform at short. I haven't seen enough out of him to say like this is a major league quality, average or above shortstop. When he got that runway when Corey was hurt in 21, he was fine. He was okay. Wasn't a problem, which is what we're looking for. To have that version. Because we were used to
Corey at second.
I guess that's
short. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I wasn't as low on Seager as maybe you might be, but also he was just so pretty. So we always appreciate that. But anywho, we'll see how that goes. What we should do is trudge forward. Let's talk about a couple more things we do have on the show. Well, we're going to have to cram a lot if the plan is to hit an hour mark. But let's do some Dodgers news and notes as the injured list turns, some injury updates. We'll hit him quick. He's already talked about him a bit on Monday, but Walker Buehler did make his next rehab start. 4 innings, 3 earned runs, 86 pitches. Had 15 whiffs in the start, which is pretty nice. Was pitching at Albuquerque, where the Dodgers, Dave Roberts even said, like, it's like pitching on the moon there in Albuquerque. The Pacific Coast League in general is not very friendly to pitchers, so the important thing, he's got his work in. He came out of it healthy, and maybe the next time we see or hear anything about Walker Buehler, it could be he's set to make his debut for the Dodgers, his 2024 debut for the Dodgers against the Braves? ? You think it happens sooner?
Who do they play Toronto and then the Braves?
I think it goes Toronto, then Arizona, then back home Braves. So that would be not tomorrow, but a week from Friday.
I think it'd be Arizona. I don't think they throw him into the fire against the Braves. I really don't.
It's back home.
Arizona's home for him at this point. He's in there forever.
God damn. Oh, that's good. That's good. I appreciate that. He has been there for a hot minute for sure.
There's no way you can play him against the Braves, in my opinion. I've been holding a lot of my feelings about Walker Buehler back for a really long time because I love Walker Buehler. He's probably my favorite pitcher, not named Clayton Kershaw. I know what they said about his velo and his spin and everything because he's at Albuquerque. The numbers weren't any different. His IVB was worse on his fastball, which means that induced vertical, like it looks like it's not rising as much, whatever. The couple starts before that, his spin rate was just like it looked in 2022.
Post-sticky.
Where it wasn't very good.
Post-sticky.
Post-sticky.
I mean, this is a sticky stuff merchant. We know that.
Yeah. It's something where he's lived and died off his fastball, and his fastball doesn't look anywhere near what it used to. And I think you're going to see an average pitcher out of Walker Buehler. And I think for the first time, the guy's going to pitch in 22 months at the big league level. You cannot throw him against the team that like when their number 9 hitter, I think, has an OPS at like 870 or something crazy like that. Like it's just,
if you want to be a coward about it, they don't need to start him against the Braves.
I'm gonna coward. I'm gonna be a big old coward because he needs a soft landing, especially when the concern they have for him is this command. If your command is off against Matt Olson, and I don't care what Ronald Acuña Jr.'s numbers look like right now, he's still Ronald Acuña Jr. You can't have bad command against that team. Let him pitch against Arizona. You can try and get a couple strikeouts against Corbin Carroll and see where you go from there.
So
but it's just an easier.
That puts him at Wednesday, I guess. Give him another week off and then bring him back.
Yeah,
it's not the worst idea. I know. Who was it? Someone in the chat. Francisco very much did not like the idea of bringing him back against the Braves. It's less about the Braves and more about letting him start at Dodger Stadium. I think everybody would kind of enjoy that, but it's more about what's needed, what the team needs, and they've been without this guy for a while. They, admittedly, Landon Knack been pretty solid. I riffed on Knack earlier on Dodgers territory, so check it out if you want more Landon Knack thoughts from me. But I like what I'm seeing from the kid. He can get into trouble, but escape it on his own, and that's been pretty cool to see in his 2 starts. But he's probably not ready for prime time yet. This is a team that needs Walker Buehler to be back. They need him to be right, and it's better for them to find out really what they have, I guess, sooner rather than later. So
I just think
the fire in Arizona.
One big league start in Arizona. I mean, I guess ultimately, if you're going to get shelled by the Braves, better it be in late April, early May. I don't remember. I think it's May at that point. Better than in October. But I think for somebody who you kind of need he's a confidence pitcher. We know this about him. One start against Arizona just to give him that couple percentage points would go a long way, I think, and honestly, they'll probably line up their starters anyway. So it's like Tyler Glasnow, Yamamoto, and I don't know, whoever, maybe it's Gavin Stone or Landon Knack. They'll probably line up their starters anyway.
Do you think maybe there's a world where he gets one more rehab start?
I really don't. Not with Bobby Miller. Without him having thrown today, I don't think there's a world where he gets a rehab start. He got to 86 pitches. I think the start before this, because 2 starts ago, that's when the ball came off his hand. Yeah, he had a poor outing, and they pulled him early at 60 pitches. This time, that outing wasn't phenomenal either. He still gave up 3 earned runs and only had 5 strikeouts in 4 innings, which is good. But they let him get to 86 pitches, and they just really want him built up so that he can get a good runway. I don't see them
giving him another one, even at Rancho or whatever. I mean, Walker's a guy we know he doesn't care about his numbers at on these rehab outings. If he cared, he would have gone for that ball that hit off of his hand. He would have tried to make the out. It was right there. He could have made the play. He did not care about those, and that's fine. Not that big of a thing. You mentioned Bobby Miller. We have not got a Bobby Miller update from Dave Roberts from the team, as we were expecting it this week, and we have not heard anything yet. The presumption is still going to be shut down, along with Kyle Hurt. They have the shoulder thing. Emmett Sheehan came out saying, "I don't know where the thing about my shoulder happened, because it's been my elbow," which now induces more fear in the back of my mind because it is his elbow, and it is but shoulder inflammation sounds better than flexor tendonitis or whatever. Listen, one time Kershaw's shoulder fell off one time. Okay, I've been through 2 Walker Buehler elbows at this point, but no real news from the team. I'm assuming we'll get an update tomorrow on B-Mild. Sheehan still just kind of kicking the can down the road. I think he is
post All-Star break.
Post All-Star break. Bad news on Brusdar Graterol this week. Shut down, still feeling discomfort in that elbow. Now it's feeling like another one. All-Star break maybe after is when he returns, and that's a tough hit.
That injury never made sense to me. They said it was his hip, and I was like, okay. And there's no way this is his hip. And then all of a sudden, it's his shoulder. Okay, that sounds more like it. It'll be a quick rehab. No, it's not. 60-day IL. Okay, that sounds about right. I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop at this point. Just just smack me over the face with it now. Let me know that his elbow's falling off and he has to go see Dr. Neil Elatrosh. Just do it now before I get my hopes up that we're gonna get him back.
You know the song, the hip bone connects to the shoulder bone or something like that. But you do
I
worry.
took anatomy in college, and I promise you that's exactly how the song goes.
Thank you. I appreciate that. They teach you that in college, is what I hear.
Yeah,
that is how you learn it, and then you're like, boom, you are a bona fide anatomy doctor at an.
That's why I'm doing this and not working in a hospital.
Hey, look at that. You step up for the guy on the day the Raiders screw him, live here on the All Dodgers Live podcast thing or whatever. Let's talk about Blake Trinan for a second. BT49, as I decided to call him, did get off a mound this week, did not look good, recorded one out, did throw 20 pitches, was throwing also in Albuquerque where Dave Roberts kind of gave him a pass. He's not coming back for another 3 to 5 outings in my estimation, maybe middle of this upcoming homestand, maybe even after the Braves, since everybody's so worried about the Braves all of a sudden.
A relief pitcher against the Braves is fine.
Yeah,
you don't want a guy that's coming back after 22 months to face arguably the best offense in baseball. Come on, that's insane.
Listen, I just want my guys, I just want my boys back, but also I want them to be home.
I want to wear my Walker Buehler jersey. I've been saving it till he comes back.
Look at that. He's a sentimentalist.
I am. How can you not be romantic about baseball or something like that?
So with if we're talking sentimental, we're talking a little bit of throwback and all of that. With us now knowing that, Trinan is somebody who will be back sooner rather than later. We don't know what he's going to look like when he's back. That is another completely different conversation. Brewstar, All-Star break in a best-case scenario. Maybe this is a team that might at some point in time end up needing some relief help. This was something that everybody's favorite journalist, John Heyman, opined on earlier today on the Bleacher Report Live or whatever the hell it is. He mentioned, everybody's going to love this one. He mentioned maybe the idea that the Dodgers should try to trade for Kenley Jansen. So enjoy this. Kevin and I won't be able to hear it for the first part, but then you guys will be able to hear it, and then I'll be able to hear it. So I forgot to upload it, so now I'm going to put it on right now, and you guys should hear it.
Do you think the Dodgers will upgrade that bullpen with a big name player? Kenley Jansen is the one that comes to mind. He was a longtime Dodger, started with the Dodgers. He doesn't seem really in place now with the Red Sox. Well, the Red Sox have a winning record right now. It doesn't look like they're trying to win that division, and I think he'd be happy to be traded at this point. I know that he went to Boston figuring it would be a team that would contend. He got a very good contract, so Boston, if they do trade him, probably have to pay a little bit of that contract, but to me, he's a guy who could be on the move, and that would make sense for the Dodgers.
So Heyman, John Heyman, old Boris buddy, he's been really pushing this Kenley Jansen thing for the better part of 4 months now, 5 months.
It's not happening.
I just don't let this happen. We went through the Kenley Jansen, Hector X's hard pass on Jansen. I said in the offseason I was not going to talk about Kenley Jansen on this channel anymore until there was actual smoke. If Heyman's talking about it again, it's not really smoke, but it's just no.
He's in Jansen's defense. He's looked good. He's got 5 saves. He's blown 1, but he's still a heart attack. No pun intended to Kenley. He has 12 Ks, 8
Could've
walks.
walked away from it.
Yeah, I know. There's no role for him is the thing. Is the last time he was in LA, the whole problem was he wanted to be the closer. The Dodgers didn't want him to be the closer. He wouldn't accept another role. I don't see that changing. Evan Phillips is a superior closer to Jansen at this stage in their career. It would be sentimental. It would be cute. We could get, California Love playing at Dodger Stadium.
He changed that the last time he was here.
I know. America's Most Wanted. Whatever. Who cares? It's just there's no role for him. There just isn't. No. I'd rather have Evan Phillips any day of the week, twice on Sunday. There's no reason to bring Jansen back. No.
And presuming that he's okay with the idea of not being a closer, which is the only way he's coming back to LA, is if he is not closing, he's not saving ball games. I would still take heart attack Vesey and old man broken knees Danny Hudson over Kenley Jansen. It's one of those things where at some point you gotta let it go. Just wounded butterfly or something, wounded bird, fly away, and it's done. It's a done deal. I don't want Kenley Jansen back in Dodger blue.
It was fun while it lasted. We love him for it. There was that stretch in 15 to 17 where he was damn near untouchable, but it's gone. It's been done. They have better options. The Dodgers need elite middle relief. Hudson and Phillips are all we need at the back end. We don't need another guy back. We need somebody to come in the 7th inning and save us from whatever the hell Ryan Brazier and Joe Kelly are doing to us right now. Although Brazier did have a good outing today, just saying that, throwing that out there.
We need to have the Brazier button, when there's one good thing he did, something like that. Let's see. Yes. I'll have a in your face, sucker. There it is. That feels about right. We're gonna skip talking about MLB being dumb in the uniforms because this is already a long ass show, but we got to talk about the Dodgers going to Toronto again. Literally, probably right now on a plane to Toronto. Guys, this is not a drill. After sweeping the Nats, Dodgers hopped that flight to Toronto. Let's look at some of the big storylines coming up here in this series against the Blue Jays, because I do think it is going to be a fun one. We're going to have Shohei Ohtani's return to Toronto. And finally, one of the things I'm very much looking forward to is a reunion-ish with Justin Turner, because it feels like, even though it's only been a year, it feels like it's very, very long awaited, as we just come off talking about Kenley Jansen and no, I'm done with all of that, and don't go back to the past. JT's that's a different story.
He's looked really good this year. He's actually having.
Did you know he's 39?
Did you know he's 39? Did you know apparently his beard is turning gray and no longer red?
But yeah, this is Justin Turner's first time facing the Dodgers since leaving via free agency last winter. That's your probably B storyline. The big storyline is Shohei Ohtani is going to face the Toronto Blue Jays. Right? Huh?
He played them in Boston last year.
Oh yeah, they did. Mookie went to visit. Well, and then I ruined the whole thing. Then I ruined.
No, but we still get Justin Turner's new digs
in blue.
Yes.
He was wearing red. Now he's wearing blue. Boom! I saved it. Fucking. That's how you just copium, kids. Just deal with that. But
he's crushed.
Shohei Ohtani returns, quote, to Toronto. You know what? Watching Shohei Ohtani, I'll just say thank God Shohei chose L.A. Like he was pretty much always gonna choose L.A. But I know one of the things folks were kind of spinning around online today was, is Shohei going to get booed? Is he going to kind of get the villain treatment in Toronto, even though he's not the guy who put out any of this stuff? He is not the guy who said he's on a plane. I don't know. I forget who put out any of these things at first, but how do you think the treatment goes?
Couldn't have been me.
How do you think the treatment goes there in Toronto?
He'll get booed. He got booed here in Chicago, and that was.
Well, he wasn't even in play there. He's just that's.
I know. Well, he was for a second, but every time he came to the plate, he got booed. He's going to get booed in Toronto because they did for about 18 hours believe that Shohei Ohtani was a Toronto Blue Jay, and.
I mean, really, it was like for an hour.
And honestly, it'll be playful boos. They'll boo him, but it'll be kind of how the same way that Dodgers fans boo Cody when he takes the field at Dodger Stadium. It'll be the same thing. They'll boo him. They'll laugh. Who cares?
They're Canadian, eh? They're not going to be really that mad.
They'll say sorry after they boo him.
Like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to boo you there, eh? But you're looking real good there in blue, eh? Sorry, I'm gonna get some Canadian people, Canadian hate, and then they're gonna be like, "I'm sorry, I didn't like that you said that there, bud." But
we're offending so many people.
Hey, that used to be if Kevin's still around, we had an episode of our old show. It was called The Offensive Powerhouse because we just enjoyed pissing people off, but it wasn't even like the goal wasn't to piss people off. It was just to have a good time. But side thought on this. If we, like I mentioned, I'm so glad Ohtani chose the Dodgers because I know I've seen even a few comments in some of these streams and definitely tweets and things online about fans would not preferred, but saying like maybe they should have just re-signed JD Martinez. Shohei Ohtani adds insane speed to his equation where JD, and then I kind of thought of this watching, one of the games, one of these national games. I think it was the second game. Shohei scoring from second on a ball where maybe JD would have made it to third on time, just maybe.
He got thrown out going to second. Either was standing on it.
Oh man, that was rough for a while last year. But you got Shohei hitting over 400 since hitting his first hitting that first homer at Dodger Stadium. JD Martinez still hasn't even played a game for the Mets. He did start like a minor league rehab because he's somebody who signed late in the offseason, so he was going to go start getting his at-bats in, and then he got hurt, which sounds like prime JD Martinez. Kind of coming back now, probably will be in New York in a week or two at the most, but man, it was very, very nice to know. It's very nice to know that Shohei Ohtani is going to be a Dodger for life, and it's going to be fun to watch this series. I think there's, the Blue Jays aren't as good as people want. They're probably not as good as they should be, but we're going to see some interesting. Yeah, it's fair. Let's see some interesting matchups here with you got Stoner going on game one against old man Chris Bassett, who's 35 years old now. I made sure to note that he's 35. It's weird to see Chris Bassett being that old, but he has a 2.9 ERA this season. You got Glasnow and Yusei Kikuchi in game two, and then the always popular TBD going against Kevin Gausman, who, man, did he ride that year with the Giants into a nice contract and then just kind of fall off a cliff. But what do you like about this the series? Those are my storylines. Does anything really pop out to you? Maybe going and seeing Vlad Jr. and the clock striking midnight for him because he hasn't been good for about 3 years.
Missed a ball thrown right at him. No, I think it'll be fun to see JT and Kike specifically kind of get their kind of hang out together. I know that was kind of a big storyline when Kike got traded back to the Dodgers last year. And this pitching matchup is actually really good. Gausman had a rocky start, but he's only allowed 2 earned runs in his last 2 starts. So he's kind of finding it. I mean, but even when he was with the Giants, the Dodgers kind of still had their way with him. Yeah. Yusei Kikuchi is the one that terrifies me. He's been incredible all year basically, and he throws with his left hand, which we all know just means the Dodgers already have a 3-run deficit. Chris Bassett's looked really good against the Mariners, Yankees, and the Padres, which those are all pretty good lineups for the most part. I think storyline-wise, it'll just be kind of a fun one. Even if the Dodgers end up losing 2 of 3, it won't feel as bad as like losing to the Nationals again. I feel like the Dodgers really needed this
that
series win, and
or the bare minimum, felt even better. Bare minimum,
the
series win for sure.
Yeah, this one, I think this will just, at least the way I'm going into it is, it's just going to be fun baseball. We're going to get to see players that we don't normally see. We're going to get to see Bobby Witt Jr. We're going to get to see Vladdy, even if he's not playing very well. We should get to be able to boo George Springer again, which will always be fun. We do like to boo old Astros. So
Dalton Varsho for fun. Anybody?
No, he didn't do anything wrong. He just played.
He was a Diamondback, and that was his fault.
Okay, I think so was AJ Pollock. I think he had his moments.
That's fair.
So I don't know. I just, for me, I don't. The story. There are better storylines, and I think there will kind of be games. Like I don't really as much care about the outcome of the games as I do care about the storylines. Like how do the Dodgers do against left-handed pitching? And what does Shohei's treatment get? Like, I think this will be like the
Shohei thing by far is going to be. Yeah. And my not so hot take is I think the Shohei treatment is going to be blown up for a while. We're going to have everybody talking about it on Monday about this whole series. By the way, I think you said Bobby Witt Jr. You probably meant Bo Bichette.
Bo Bichette, yes. Yeah. Bobby Witt Jr. on the Royals. The other blue team.
The other blue team. Yeah, they all. There's too many blue teams. We did it first. I think. I don't know. Just go. Just go.
Yeah.
Shh. See, his camera's over here, guys. You guys are here. He's over here. Oh, behind the mysteries or something like that. But listen, we if we hear it and I'm an ass, we will correct Bobby Witt Jr. in there. But
appreciate. Yeah.
Yeah, I got 2 wins in this series. We got TBD. I'm seeing some folks talking about TBD in the chat saying he's going to throw a no. That's already spoiled now. TBD has a hell of a cannon. I saw from one person in there. Glasnow, here's your ace. This is the guy who's kind of been the guy they're riding this season. He's going to be their stopper, going to be their ace, whatever the hell they need of him. Tyler Glasnow has that on him that he needs to deal with whatever the Dodgers need that particular week. And he needs to make sure he wins that middle game because as of now, we don't know who is starting on Sunday. And Gavin Stone hasn't been terrible in his last 2 outings, but couldn't get out of the 4th inning in his most recent outing. So you need a little bit of length. You can't keep burning this bullpen because after this there are 3 against the defending National League champion Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yes, and that won't get said 1,000 times at all.
Not at all. But guys, it's been a long one. I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. It is late for old Kevin over there in Chicago. And I think if I push this button, we might hear John Heyman again. And if so, I apologize, guys. I'll be ready. Hold on. Okay, good. I did disengage it. Fucking nailing this. But
lead pipe wielding professionals.
Anywho, again, long show, different show, fun show. Thank you for braving through my allergies. This was harder for me than it was for you. Maybe I'm going to get a lot of people complaining about me, needing to breathe, and that's another thing I apologize for. But this is my Jordan game. This is my flu game, I guess, or something like that. But thank you for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you so much for the questions, the participation, and thank you so much for the super chats. That really does mean a whole lot to me, to us, to the whole fan bam here at All Dodgers. And I guess it's really just like me and you and the lady who eventually or occasionally brings in things here during the show. But I have the other show, Dodgers Territory. If you missed it, again, we did talk to Andy McCullough of The Athletic today. That show is also on Mondays and Thursdays at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Reminder that for less than the price of a Michelada, you can support this channel and independent Dodgers coverage on my Patreon page. The link is in the description. That is patreon.com/realfrg. Got to shout out the mods again for doing a kick-ass job in this chat, as they always do. Hit that subscribe button. That is producer Kevin right there. You guys can see it. Follow him at Skinner7Kevin, and I am realfrg on the Twitter, on the Instagram. Again, subscribe. It's completely free. Okay, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.